Hey y'all, welcome back to the channel. I'm wearing the same shirt, judge me. So like I said in the last video, I'm gonna be trying out a bunch of new products from Wet n Wild. They've released like hella products this year and it's still January, but I swear every week they be dropping something new. So I'm here to test out a bunch of stuff for you, let you know my thoughts, if you should spend your money on it and try it out or not. So if you want to see all these new products and my first impressions of them, then just keep on watching. Starting off, I've got basically two primers here. I have got the coconut 3-in-1 primer water, and then I've got the new water drop primer. This primer is so cool. I used like swatch a little bit on my hand in the last video, and literally this is like the craziest like cream to water formula. Blew my mind. But I'm going to use both of these primers out today. In order to give them both a fair shot, I'm going to put the primer water on the left side of my face, your right, and then I'm going to put the water drop on the right side of my face or your left. I'm going to go ahead and I'll just use my hand and spray the primer water on this side. Oh, that smells like coconut. Okay, that smells so amazing. And you can use this as a setting spray, a primer spray, or a refreshing spray. And honestly, it would be so refreshing because this feels amazing already, and it does feel pretty tacky on the skin right now, so foundation is gonna stick to this so nicely. And then we're gonna take this water drop primer and go in on this side of the face. Oh, this is so hydrating. Wow. Oh my god, this feels great. This literally feels so great on the skin. I will say I haven't done this winter because I just haven't repurchased it because I've gotten so many new products that it just slipped my mind. But my favorite primer to use during the winter is the Too Faced Hangover Primer because it's so hydrating and it also smells like coconuts. I love coconut if you can't tell. And it's just super hydrating because in the winter time, like, I can get away with using hydrating products more than mattifying because A, my skin needs it because it's a lot drier in the winter, and B, like, it's not hot really, so I'm not gonna be like an oil slick. So this does say that it blurs out your appearance of pores. I'm just read the back because I didn't do that. So the water drop primers, cream to water formula, like I said, hydrates and locks down moisture, and it blurs the appearance of pores. And the primer water doesn't really say anything. It probably just hydrates. It's probably all it does. But I can already tell a difference in the primers because the water drop feels a lot more hydrating, and also it did blur out my pores like pretty good. For foundation, I'm going to be taking the new Photofocus Stick Foundation. Let's all cross our fingers and say our prayers that this matches me. If not, I'm just blend it down the neck real good, but let's hope. I've got the shade Classic Beige. My Walgreens didn't really have any darker shades than this, and the other ones were way too light for me, so this is what we're working with. I love stick foundations. I'm just gonna make some marks on my face and blend it out with a brush because whenever I use a stick foundation, I think it looks blended out way better when using a brush versus a sponge, and it's a lot easier when you use a brush. But as I was saying, this was the darkest shade that my Walgreens has. And as I can tell from just looking at it, it matches me pretty good so far. So if I do like this, I'm going to have to get on Wet n Wild and order a darker one because I live in a very white town. So there's probably no chance of a darker one coming my way anytime soon. I will say the only thing in this video that I'm gonna have that's not Wet n Wild is gonna be my concealer, because I am not a fan of their Photo Focus concealer. I don't really like it. It's not too bad of a concealer. Mostly I just don't like the packaging, because you literally have to dip into the product so much to get some out, and that just annoys me. So I literally never use it for pretty much that reason alone. So I'm going to be using a different concealer and probably a different highlight, because I don't have a highlight from Wet n Wild either with me. Oh, and a powder. That's what I was going to say. They also came out with a Photo Focus translucent powder. It comes in translucent, banana, and a deep shade. And I was so excited to try it, but they didn't have one at Walgreens. And I didn't want to wait for one to come in the mail, so I don't have that. This is a long-lasting multitasking cover stick. Comes in 21 shades. Gives long-lasting coverage. It's lightweight. Has a semi-matte finish. It gives intense moisture and seamless blendability. So yeah, and then just like all their other Photo Focus products, you can like take good photos with it and not have to worry about flashback or anything like that. I will say, from what I've put on so far, it is light coverage. I can still see my blemishes and I can still see my redness picking through. So we are definitely going to have to build this puppy up and see what it's made of. I will say it looks pretty decent on the skin. There is like, I don't know if you can tell, but like a strip right here where like no product is gotten. So that's kind of weird, and it's a little cakey by my nose so far. But other than that, it looks pretty good, and I will go back in when I'm through building it up with a damp sponge just to get rid of any excess product or any harsh lines that may be left. But I do like to use a brush first, because for me it just blends things out a lot faster. So yeah, it doesn't seem to be clinging to any dry patches or anything like that from what I can tell. So this is it so far. I did add a little bit more to build it up. I would say I'm at like a medium coverage now, because there's still this redness right here picking through. Not too big of a deal since it's close enough to my under eye. My concealer will take care of it if it's still there when I put on this third layer. And this blemish I have right here, I can still see right here on my lip, and then the acne scars on my chin I can still see a little bit too. It's not settling into my fine lines yet, so that's good. The cakiness I was seeing on my nose blended out pretty well, so hopefully throughout the day, like if I'm wearing this, it doesn't cake back up, because that ain't cute. But so far so good, I think, from what I can tell. Okay, we going in with a third layer. Let's hope hope the coverage becomes full. This is a lot of foundation. I will say with stick products, like, you do use what seems like a lot of more product than liquid, but you know, there's no way for me to measure how much I've used, so I don't know if that's a true fact or not. So it finally covered up this redness right here better, but I still feel like it's sitting like a little odd in that section of my face, but I'm literally looking at it so closely. Is it? So hopefully whenever I put my concealer on, it doesn't become like a cakey mess on my under eye, because typically I don't put that much product there anyways, because I'm always going in with a full coverage concealer as is, so there's really no sense to that. But so far so good. I think we finally got her to full coverage, so that's good. It did take a few layers, a lot of stripes, but if you're like a light coverage or medium coverage like foundation person, you'll probably like it, because like a few stripes and you'll be okay. But I have a lot of acne and acne scars, so full coverage is just my jam. But let's go ahead and add some concealer on top and see how that does. I will say the side with the water drop primer looks a lot better, and that's probably because of the like pore filling that primer does. So I definitely know a lot of people that I watch anyways use a primer spray with another primer, so I'll probably do that in the future. But for the sake of the video, I wanted to test them out separately. Okay, I will say adding concealer on top of this makes me like it a lot more than I was. But it just covered up like that little spot that was being weird right here. And just made things look a lot better. Like, I definitely have a better opinion of it now with concealer on top of it than I did with it by itself, because I wasn't too sure if I was digging it. Up until that point, I am going to take my damp sponge and just go around for some extra blending and just pick up any excess product there could have been. It picked up a little bit, not too much, but that'll just get rid of like cakiness or anything like that. And since Wet n Wild didn't, or Walgreens didn't have the new powder, I'm just going to use my own tried and true Rimmel Stay Matte powder on my huge Equate powder brush. I'm going to actually go back in with the primer water just for a little refresher and to make that powder look a little bit better and more blended and not cakey. I think I like it so far based on how it's sitting on the skin. The only thing that kind of looks a little iffy is it's not really covering my acne like on my chin. It just looks a little cakey, kind of like it's clinging to the drier parts on my chin, and it looks a little patchy, to be honest, right there. I will say my chin is a problem area for me. It's been getting better, but I've been away from home this week and I brought my skincare, but my skin is not having it. Like, something is causing my chin to freak out this week, so that could be why it looks kind of iffy right there. But I'm used to my chin being a mess, so the rest of my face looks good. So far it's aight. We're gonna go ahead and go in with the bronzer now, and as I said before, or in my last video, this is the Coloricon bronzer in the shade Sunset Striptease, and I'm going to be using my Equate multi-purpose brush to blend this out. And I will say, when I swatched this in my last video, it looked a little light, so we're gonna see if she actually shows up. I can see it on the camera. I can low-key see it in person, but not very much. So, I mean, I guess as long as y'all can see it, it's okay, right? I think I like it so far. Y'all tell me if you can actually see it though, because like I can on camera. In person, I don't know. Now we're gonna go in with the blush in Keep It Peachy. This is not a new formula. It's just a new shade in their Coloricon line, and I'm gonna be super light-handed with it. Ooh, that is pretty. This is just a true matte peach, and it looks really pretty on the skin. I definitely am a fan. So I went ahead and did my brows off camera. I used the micro brow pencil in the shade Ash Brown. I mean, they look pretty good. It was really easy to use. This thing is super affordable. Like, I don't have any complaints about it so far. The formula is pretty good. It's not too dry or too creamy. It looks good. I didn't get a new eyeshadow palette from Wet n Wild. They had some new shades out in their little palette line, but I decided not to pick one up because I'm trying not to buy eyeshadow palettes right now. I'm on a no buy, if you will. But I did get some new lip colors. I don't think I'm gonna put both of them on, or maybe I will. Who cares? We gonna mix them. So first I'm gonna go in with the Perfect Pout lipstick in the shade Bare Your Soul. I will say this feels really creamy and comfortable on the lips, and I really like the shade of it. It's really pretty and super comfy. And then on top of it, I'm just gonna put the new liquid catsuit high shine lipstick in the shade Send Nudes. This is essentially like just a very pigmented lip gloss. It's more like, it's glossier than a regular lipstick, but it's not like super glossy. So it's still really pretty though, and honestly they don't look too bad mixed together. I will get closer, but my lips are kind of chapped, so it's not the cutest, so I'm not gonna subject y'all to that ugliness. But these are the products so far. Let me go put on a little bit more of the primer spray, and I'll be right back. literally smells divine. I need to get the rose one. So here is my full face of new Wet n Wild products. I am gonna go through product by product basically and tell you my thoughts. Starting off with the primer water, it smells amazing. I will say the side that I used it on looks really good, just not as good as the one with the water drop primer, because this primer is very hydrating. I do have combo oily skin, so you dry skin people, you may not think it's as hydrating as I think it is, but I think it's pretty darn hydrating, and it blurs out the pores beautifully. This doesn't have any pore blurring technology because it's a primer spray, but the makeup still set beautifully on top of it. It's great for a refresher spray, or a setting spray, just to make all your foundations and powders and everything blend together perfectly. And this coconut scent is amazing. You will find me at Walgreens probably this weekend or sometime next week picking up a rose one, because I need to know what it smells like, because I know it's probably gonna smell delicious. This primer I really like so far. I can't wait to use it more this winter, for some extra hydration, because I really liked how it felt on the skin, and I really like the way the foundation set on top of it. The foundation, I'm definitely gonna have to try out some more. I will say it is very light coverage, but you can build it up to full coverage. You just have to work with it and keep adding product to get it to the coverage that you desire. But it still looks beautiful on the skin. Now that all my products are on top of it, nothing has caked up. It settled into my fine lines just a little bit, but not very much. And it does sit on my chin a little bit weird, but we are gonna blame that on my acne, because a lot of my favorite foundations do that. So whenever my chin is being a little hoe, so that's nothing new. I really like it, and for $6, like, you can't beat that. Like, that's a good deal. The bronzer, like, I can see it on camera. Every time I look in a mirror in person, I'm like, bronzer who, bronzer where? Because I sure don't know. Like, let me swatch it for you in this video so you can just get an idea of how light it is. Like you can barely, let me tilt it so you can see, like, you can barely see it when I swatch it, so I know, like, it's barely there on my face. I'm probably either gonna have to use it as an eyeshadow or give it to a friend, because it's not gonna work for me. Like, if it barely works for me now, it's never working for me any other time of the year. So hopefully there is one that is darker than this. I'm just gonna have to test them out and see. But if you are lighter than me, and that being said, I'm in the shade Classic Beige. The blush is such a pretty color. I'm obsessed with it. I can't wait to wear it this summer. I love a good peachy blush, and these are literally $3. You get so much product, and they're definitely worth the money, and they blend out beautifully. The brow pencil, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna like this. I'm gonna have to test it out some more and see, but so far I really like the color, and it was super easy to use. The formula wasn't too creamy, wasn't too drying, wasn't too waxy. Like, it was pretty spot on. If you are an Anastasia Brow Wiz lover, girl, go save you some coins and try this out. The two lip products, I love lip products. These are both super comfortable on the lips, because neither one of them are matte that I know of. Neither one of them say anything about being matte. They just are beautiful colors, and the formula is nice. If you like glosses, go check out this one. If you don't like glosses and you like a good, nice, creamy lipstick, this is the formula for you. If you're like me and you don't discriminate, you like them matte, you like them glossy, you like them creamy, get both because they're so pretty. With that being said, that is all for this video. I will catch you guys in the next one. I'm gonna try and have up some more tutorials, but thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.